Now, I must cop to this. Regardless of how political I am and how closely I follow all this stuff, I genuinely and sincerely had no fucking idea that this was a Nazi symbol. None.
I mean, Totenkopf. Nazi hat. It's literally on the foreheads of Nazis. You're gonna tell me you don't know what this is? You had no idea? Then you don't know history at all. Learn your imagery. Know your enemy.
That, they're advocating for healthcare for you. Have they ever done anything that even got you remotely close to having it? That's the point of these people, even in spite of all this other stuff. They're there to mislead you. And you buy it every fucking time. I don't believe these people buy it at all. I believe the people like Hassan Piker, Crystal Ball, Ryan Grimm, Emma Vigilant, the Majority Report, these people are Democratic Party shills, right? That's why Hassan Piker wanted to invite Graham Platner onto his stream. He wanted to raise his profile. These people are tools of the Democrats. They are part and parcel of the strategy of misleading people, of getting them complacent and getting them inactive by convincing them they already had their representatives within the party, so they need to do anything. That's enough about that for now, okay? I'm making a longer, more structured video on how Platner reveals that the American left is just American supremacist. It's going to be called the American Supremacist Left, and...
That's going to be a great video. Upcoming banger. Ground is closing beneath Graham Platner's feet. There's nowhere left for him to turn.
Honestly, fuck these people at this point. If there are any Americans among you who are principled, who are against imperialism on principle, who consider...
Time to purge your algorithm. I don't know what I need to do to stop having a Majority Report videos be auto-played after whatever I'm watching, but I gotta say, it's been a long time coming. Did I call it or not? Like, all the people that I hate on the mic. Sam Cedar. Hassan Piker. Just the worst microphone etiquette in the game. Sam Cedar with his ums and ahs. Hassan Piker chewing into the mic. I don't care how progressive they claim to be. That's as easy to listen to as like Tucker Carlson. As easy to listen to as Candace Owens. Get it together. But now, I don't even have to put up with it. I don't even have to try to put up with it. You have no reason to put up with the gaslighting, the condescension, controlled opposition, or the cute opposition that is not controlled but not a threat. Cute opposition. People are jumping ship on Graham Platner. First one I watched is Kyle Kulinski asking, is Kyle Kulinski or is Graham Platner fucked?
Graham Platner. Graham. What have you done? What have you done, old Grammy boy?
But, what? You notice that it's Kyle saying something about this first and not Crystal?
Old Graham Cracker. Alright, so there's a lot to talk about here, but let's dive into it. So Maine State Press has the following. A recently surfaced video shows Maine Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Graham Platner with a chest tattoo of the SS Totenkopf, the skull and crossbones emblem used by Nazi death's head units. Platner has stated he got the tattoo while drunk as a young Marine on shore leave in Croatia and was unaware of its Nazi affiliation until recently. Okay, so here is what the tattoo looks like. Here is the Nazi symbol. Now, I must cop to this. Regardless of how political I am and how closely I follow all this stuff, I genuinely and sincerely had no fucking idea that this was a Nazi symbol. None.
I mean, Totenkopf. Nazi hat. It's literally on the foreheads of Nazis. You're gonna tell me you don't know what this is? You had no idea? Then you don't know history at all. Learn your imagery. Know your enemy. Okay? Baby's first Nazi? Jesus Christ.
When I think of the Nazi symbol, I think of the swastika, and I think of the SS, like the lightning bolt SS. That's what I think of. I literally have never seen this and would never have attributed it to some Nazi shit. In all honesty, where my mind goes when I first see this is pirate. I think pirate, that's a pirate thing. Like skull and crossbones, I immediately
You are adorable, Kyle.
think pirate. So now you can hear that and you can say, hey Kyle, you're ignorant or naive on it. Fair enough, but I genuinely did not know that. And my guess is probably a majority of Americans are with me. Like, I would guess a majority of Americans are with me in that they know the swastika, of course, is a Nazi symbol, and they probably know or maybe like 60% know that the lightning bolts, the SS, that's Nazi symbology. But this, I really doubt.
I mean, it's in movies, it's all over the place, man. Where's he at wearing his hat? Look! There it is. I knew what it was immediately. The only thing that was holding me back was the picture quality. But that's pretty damning. I mean...
Out that a majority of people know that. All right. Now, having said that, let's dive a little deeper here. So, this is an important point to make. Main state press is the following. New details are emerging about the recent Politico article on Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Graham Platner.
Ebb and flow? Something that Kyle Kalinske has watched before on his show. Says Platner has some explaining to do.
We're gonna take it there. We're gonna take it there. We're gonna take it.
Democratic primary. In the general, it's going to be against Susan Collins. So he's the sort of left populist candidate in that race, running on things like Medicare for all, general agitation against the system, not taking corporate money, talking about the housing crisis, talking about the healthcare crisis, and all sorts of other things like that from a pretty tangible leftist perspective. Recently, an establishment Democrat has decided to hop into the race, Janet Mills, and ever since she did that, the entire dynamic of the race has changed in a pretty deliberate way. Platner had a lot of momentum. He had an endorsement from Bernie Sanders and was looking like a pretty solid candidate, despite the fact that there were some question marks in his background, which I'm going to talk about here. But the moment Janet Mills got in the race, all this Oppo research suddenly dropped about old posts on Reddit, things about him saying he's a communist, things people are calling racist, using words he shouldn't use, blah, blah, blah. Typical dig through the internet archive.
Graham Platner asks why black people don't tip? What the fuck?
Using words.
In reference to rape in old Reddit posts? He's a fucking Redditor. He's posted more than 1,800 times between 2009 and 2021.
Words he shouldn't use, blah, blah, blah. Typical dig through the internet archives type of stuff. It's like, you know, we could sit here and quibble about his Reddit comments if we want to, but I don't really want to. But as of the 21st, there was another piece of Oppo research that was actually dropped by Platner's campaign. They sent it to Pod Save America, and Platner was interviewed on Pod Save America by John Favreau.
How hard is it to not be unhinged on Reddit, though? You know what I mean?
About not just the Reddit posts, but also this video that depicts him shirtless, and you can see what is pretty well recognized as a Nazi tattoo. Not the most widely recognized Nazi symbol, and I have seen it used in places that are not directly associated with Nazis or similar symbols, but this particular symbol is banned in a lot of places in Europe and in Germany. It's definitely a known Nazi symbol, and he got this tattooed on himself when he was in the military, says he didn't know and has had it on ever since, and it never came up. So real quick, let me play for you his explanation of this tattoo that he has, and then more so what I want.
It's actually kind of too bad that the ADL is like a completely defrauded and a complete shell of what it used to be. The ADL has well-documented white supremacist and Nazi symbology, all the way down to like individual runes and stuff used in certain combinations. Of course, like that's how I learned the 14 words and stuff, and I'm sure that Totenkopf is at the top of the list.
I want to get into later is his military background, his background working for military contractors, because to the extent that there's something suspicious.
Like the ADL had a great archive of actual problematic shit until they started adding, you know, pro-Palestine things.
just about this guy. That's where it is. It's not that he has some kind of like gang tattoo affiliation. As of right now, that's not what we're talking about here. But there are some genuine question marks in this guy's background, and that's what I want to get to mostly. So here's what he had to say about the tattoo.
Yeah, so in 2007, I was a machine.
We don't have to listen to him try to gaslight us. But even some more news.
Here's some spooky news.
So, Graham Platner, white guy, 41-year-old oyster farmer from Maine. He is running as a Democrat for U.S. Senate. He wants to unseat Susan Collins in the midterms next year. His early campaign videos got a lot of attention. He's the progressive voice in this race. Bernie Sanders has endorsed him.
This imperialist is the progressive voice in this space. How demoralizing is that?
All that stuff.
He was on the Fighting Oligarchy tour.
Yes. Yeah, he went with Bernie.
Automatically cool.
He's like in this group. However, first CNN got a hold of some old, deleted Reddit posts from 2013 to 2021. He appeared to victim blame people who'd been sexually assaulted, dismissed concerns about sexual assault in the military, called himself a communist, said white Mainers were racist and stupid, among some other things. He disavowed those comments, said he no longer agrees with them. Internet comments, okay. Then the tattoo came out. There is a video of Platner singing shirtless at a wedding where a tattoo is visible, which I would argue strongly resembles, if not is identical to, a skull and crossbones that were the insignia of the Nazis' 3rd SS Panzer Division, aka...
Why are we so timid to burn these people? Just let these people go. As soon as you find out these red flags, don't, oh, I can fix him. Oh my god.
A Totenkopf. Platner says he got the tattoo as a young Marine in Croatia in 2007 while drunk with his buddies. He only recently, he says, found out about its Nazi affiliations.
Why are you nodding?
And has already had the tattoo covered with some Celtic imagery. Is that what it is?
It's like a Celtic knot and then like wolf or something like that.
It looks like shit.
Which is a funny thing to choose to cover up.
It looks to me like a game.
A Celtic thing? Oh man. It's only now more... Dude, when I was in rehab, I met a guy. He said he wasn't a white supremacist, he's just like, he just had a bunch of like Aryan tattoos. If you are saying all that, and you have Aryan tattoos, you might be a Nazi.
Game of Thrones crest or something like that.
Yeah, it's just a Celtic knot.
It's just, yeah.
With it's extra funny to me just because, well, A, if you want to like cover up your Nazi tattoo, like make it even more neutral probably, but it's not fully covered up. You can kind of see like the end of the bones. It seems very haphazard. But
well, I don't know much about tattoo covering and how that works in general. I don't know how much it's possible to completely erase it.
Yeah, the darker it is, the harder it is to cover up. That's why it looks like shit.
At first glance, I did not see the Totenkopf in there again. So anyway, the left is very divided over this. Stick with him. He's not a Nazi. He's never said any Nazi stuff. Support him, or come on, it's a Nazi tattoo. He's got to go. There are other candidates in this race, and the most notable one is current Maine Governor Janet Mills, 77, much more moderate, criticized Portland, Maine for divesting from Israel and things of this nature. She would be the oldest freshman senator ever.
There's a lot.
Okay, that doesn't mean vote for Graham Platner. That means this is who you have squandered your campaign to. By backing Graham Platner, you have lost to the likes of her.
A lot of opinions on this. There's a lot of valid opinions on this, by the way, and it's hard to know. Oh, it's hard. I could see arguments on both sides. I have a feeling.
What?
I know where you guys land, and I think that I'm kind of in the middle on this.
On the middle? On a Nazi tattoo? Literally?
Are a wide range of reactions, as you stated. Some people are saying we need to not subject our side to purity tests the way we have. There's a real conversation about welcoming people in, reaching different demographics of people.
Yeah, we should not, like, discriminate against Nazis, you know?
People having more working class politicians, people that represent those demographics. And then there is just the reality of we sit here.
Charlie Day over here nodding.
and spend a lot of time talking about authoritarianism, about blatant Nazism within the Conservative Party. And it feels very frustrating to have a candidate
What about blatant Nazism in the Democratic Party?
who is progressive and is needed in this region, who also literally has a Nazi tattoo on his chest.
Not anymore.
I listened to his interview with Tommy Vietor this week, and it was interesting. I had many different thoughts to hear his side of it. He has laid.
Okay, I don't need to hear them beat around the bush any longer. Now, here's Felix Biederman on the Hasanabi broadcast talking about the state of America with Graham Platner in the thumbnail. Let's see where they go with it.
And
finally,
Felix Biederman in the building. We're back and better than ever. Andrew Cuomo has been going crazy over your boy. And by that, I don't mean Zoran Mogdani. I'm talking about myself. He's been talking about me every day.
Yeah, it is sort of like, is he like, I mean, it's totally different kettle of fish.
I thought you were considering the Graham Platner saga. No.
Well, no, that's out of my hands.
Yeah.
That's stupids are doing their own thing. It has nothing to do with, I can't affect, if I could affect what stupids do.
We need a mass line of stupids.
Have you ever been to Maine?
No. Or once, I think. I was supposed to go. I was supposed to go and meet up with Graham Platner initially, way before any of this stuff. And my primary concern at that time was like, why did you join Blackwater in 2018?
Yeah.
Which is not a concern for the average voter at all, obviously. It's just like, that was my own.
Oh, is it?
Like, I was trying to understand what the fuck was going on there. On paper, his candidacy, like...
Speak for yourself, Hassan.
Comes out of the gate swinging, left populist, Bernie-crat, whatever, right? Like, looks good. And then you look into his background and you're like, what the how did this happen? And I had these concerns. I wanted to talk to him about it, and then all of this stuff happened. And first the Reddit stuff came out, and I was like, okay, this is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like, how did you go from 4-tour machine gunner in the Marines to Blackwater in 2018 to by 2020 being like, I hate white folk.
Yeah.
I hate the stupid white chuds.
Yeah. Which is like, that is so sad for him to say that. But it's like, I had the same thing where it was like, we could have interviewed him. I was like kind of against it because really like the only thing you could ask him, like we could ask him that would be kind of interesting would be like, okay, so you were a mercenary, like what the and after, presumably he has like a slick answer for that, or maybe not so slick, but after that, what do you really have? I mean, I think his entire candidacy, I do get people that are backing him to the hilt, because after Brandon and after Brandon 2 and Trump 2, all these dementia-addled candidates, people lying their ass off for people like Fetterman, it would be great to be able to do that for someone who is like halfway good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Halfway good. Oh, the bar is in hell, dude.
My thing with him is like, I always thought, before all of this too, especially with Blackwater stuff, if he was willing to be like more, I'm not going to say out there with foreign policy, but more not sort of like safe sock demi.
Yeah.
Still what I would prefer
when I looked at his
Jeffries, but
when I looked at his platform, the thing that actually stuck out for me is like when he was like, "Oh, we just got to do good wars," like not.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, that's the Marjorie Taylor Greene position.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
If I could be assured that he would be like a 100% reliable, like anti-interventionist, guy who could potentially like, I don't know.
But even then, then you got to think it's less of a John Fetterman and more of a Tulsi Gabbard.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And the fact that he's not. This is, if you are looking to really like,
I don't know. I think neither of them were Nazis. Neither of them were guards at Abu Ghraib.
Completely obliterate all the norms and not do any of the shit that previous generations felt was necessary in a Senate race. Well, this is the time where you would get a little bolder with foreign policy stuff. Yeah. The fact that he's not,
especially like, right now, if I'm working on his campaign, the thing I would be hammering.
I love how Hassan just says what he wants to say just as soon as he thinks it at full volume, and his guest just has to like peter off into nothing. Felix Peterman.
Necessary in a Senate race. Well, this is the time where you would get a little bolder with foreign policy stuff. Yeah. The fact that he's not,
especially like, right now, if I'm working on his campaign, the thing I would be hammering every day would be, why are we going to war with Venezuela?
Yeah.
Why are we going to war with Venezuela? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you moving the aircraft carrier to Latin America? Why are you trying to turn our direct backyard into
the Charlie Kirk of the left here?
An Iraq-style situation. I mean, it is the.
No, sir, don't bomb Iran, sir. No, sir, don't. Oh, you're gonna do it anyway? Oh, okay, well, I guess that's based.
Most opportune time to be a guy like that.
Yeah.
This is literally, in my opinion, this is basically what I felt when I was trying to tell Democrats to like scream about Israel a little bit, when I would like hold them down at the DNC and be like, you have to address this. It's like not only unimaginably inhumane, but people are like, people are frustrated by this, and your inability to address it is going to cook you. And this is exactly like that.
Yeah.
Everything is getting so much shittier every day. Everything is pretty ass. So what can you do? I would game if Qatar. Would you game if Qatar said you needed to? Yes, I would do anything. If Qatar asked me to do it, I would do it. Okay. I already said this. It was awesome when they gave Donald Trump the $400 million jet.
We love that.
Yeah, I was on board. Okay, but no. What I was gonna
confirm. Hassan was on board the Qatari jet.
say with the Graham Platner stuff is what I realized, and maybe I'm being a little too optimistic about it, but I keep like repeating this over and over again until it sticks. In the past, the establishment Democrats could cynically weaponize identity politics, cancel culture, things of that nature to their left flank. When there was like any sort of viable candidate, they could be like, oh, this guy's racist, this guy's sexist, don't vote for him, he's not electable. And I think liberals broadly agreed with that, right?
Yeah.
And they would, of course, show none of the same considerations towards Hillary Clinton, for example, who had her own long track record of racist remarks and racist policies she advocated for, right? And I think liberals, by and large, some who might even, if they read into it, might even self-describe as like way more progressive or even socialist or whatever, right? Who just don't really care about this stuff that much and just go, I'm liberal, I'm progressive, I'm voting for the Democratic Party. Those people care first and foremost about the harm reduction narratives and the electability narratives. And I think now with what we're seeing with the Graham Platner situation is that line of attack.
Hassan's just gonna lean into electoral politics at this point. I feel like he's gonna slowly lean away from the substance and just talk about, you know, the horse race of electoral politics. I mean, they're almost done with this segment. Future third party, I mean, China. No self-reflection, just moving the fuck on.
Doesn't work for the left flank anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that can only be attributed to the waves of defeat, specifically the most humiliating one being Trump twice.
Yeah.
With the similar, we have to move to the center narratives, and the subsequent inability to address any of the things that Trump is doing has caused liberals to go, okay, fuck this. I'm down with whatever the left populist like message is. It turns out I think this is more viable.
I think I think that's definitely the case in like a few of these instances. The thing.
It's a lot of words to just say people are desperate, and it's easy to get their hopes up.
It's on one hand, it is impressive, right?
Oh my God, Hassan. Worst mic etiquette, and just rude to his guests, and fucking goddamn, dude. Whatever. I'm glad to be done with these channels, you know.
Non-Americans equal human beings. It's your duty to do the exact opposite of what these people advocate for. It's your duty to actually fight the beast from within, rather than normalize it, as these motherfuckers do. You need to conceive of yourselves as part of the world, not as part of America, as Hassan Piker and it's going to be called the American supremacist left, and honestly, fuck these people at this point. If there are any Americans among you who are principled, who are against imperialism on principle, who consider non-Americans equal human beings, it's your duty to do the exact opposite of what these people advocate for. It's your duty to actually fight the beast from within, rather than normalize it, as these motherfuckers do. You need to conceive of yourselves as part of the world, not as part of America, as Hassan Piker and these others do primarily.
Yep, that's the end of Graham Platner. Well, moving on. When will he have direct democracy to where we can just vote directly on policy instead of getting our hopes up over candidates? Fuck this. And fuck the so-called left wing with their propaganda apparatus propping up these fucking fools. Is there any greater evidence that some people tune in to what they think are progressive channels and just accept them as infallible? Yep, Moral of the story is electoral politics in America will not save you. And anyone who's trying to game that system is part of it.
You pigs, we go hard for Palestine. We escalate for Palestine. We fight for Palestine. We give it everything we got. We do not work with the police. We do not point people out to the police. We do not lay hands on our comrades. When we go hard for our people, you stand out the way. If you ain't with them,